Oi, tudo bem? Trabalhar aqui? Prazer.
Got a new conversation for you today. A girl with a delicious looking bootang. So watch the clip and then we'll talk some nonsense about it after.
Oi, tudo bem? Fala inglês?
Não.
Meu português é mais ou menos, mas eu vejo você e eu quero dizer oi porque eres muito
Obrigada.
linda.
Obrigada.
Qual é seu nome? Muito gosto. Não, muito gosto. Prazer em conhecê-lo. James, sou de Londres.
Sim.
Não entende meu português?
Mais ou menos.
Não, é a primeira vez eu falo português para 2 anos. Porque estava em México e Colômbia e é espanhol. E a primeira vez em São Paulo para 2 anos também. Trabalhar aqui?
Trabalho aqui.
Qual é seu trabalho?
De hostess, recepcionista.
Ah,
Recepciona.
você gosta?
Sim.
Sei, pero você tem uma cara muito séria quando me diz sobre tu trabalho.
Sim.
Sim, não é bom?
Gosto, mas mais ou menos.
Yeah, ok. Você tem Instagram, WhatsApp?
Sim.
Se você tem recomendações para mim, estou aqui só para 5 dias depois de Carnaval em Salvador. É 5
Isso,
para...
mas são 5.
E qual é o seu nome? James, muito prazer.
Prazer, Diego.
So this was an example of a shorter conversation. It was probably in total only about 90 seconds. There's a couple of key points to make here. First of all, you're not always going to vibe with someone, right? Me and Les will always kind of layer out the principles which we kind of expect guys to follow, which is obviously go in and be playful and have fun and wait for her to kind of actually invest in the conversation, right? And an ideal length of conversation is probably between 5 to 7 minutes. Sometimes it's just not going to work. Human nature, life isn't always straightforward. You're going to catch her off guard. Maybe she's a bit introverted. Maybe she's a bit quiet. Maybe she's a bit just caught off by your confidence. Any reason could be, we just never know. Cold approaches, we're casting a big net over a cross-sectioning society and we have no control over what's actually happening, right? So in this clip in particular, I was kind of talking a bit, but I was quite tired. I think I'd done a few approaches by then. I was kind of carrying the conversation, but she wasn't really vibing. But the key point I had in my head is always this idea of sometimes she's going to vibe, sometimes she's not. The simple fact is you've gone in and you've given a compliment. If she's standing there, as far as I'm concerned, actions speak louder than words. So to a degree, she's interested, right? At any point she decides to walk away, she's not. The hardest bit is opening, right? We see it as a massively common problem with students where they're in the conversation. Maybe it's a kind of a case of that where she's not really giving much, but she's still standing there. But what they do is then they leave the conversation and they do like her and they haven't asked for the number. And we're always like, oh God, why'd you do that? And they're like, I don't know, it didn't really feel right. What I really think it is some sort of delayed almost anxiety about rejection or caring.
Avoiding rejection, playing not to lose.
Not playing to win, playing not to lose. And there's a big difference there, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. Like planes crashing. Biggest chance of a plane crashing is when it takes off and when it lands. I mean, I can liken this to the first person that I ever took out in London many years ago. I saw her running down the street, massive hurry, and I was like, oh, I don't even want to do this. Ran after her like a crazy person, stopped her, and she stopped, gave me a very funny look, and I was like, bumbled along, my line. I was like, oh, you look French, and she was actually like, oh, I am French, and I was like, oh, finally, it actually worked on someone. I said, look, I can see you're in a massive hurry, because she kept on saying, oh, I've got to go. And I was like, look, another time, let me take you for a drink. Give me your number. I'll send you a message. So she's like, okay, just take it quickly. And she gives it to me. I'm typing it in. And when I look up, I just finished typing it in. When I look up, she's already walking. She's already like 5 meters away from me. So I was like, I didn't even know her name. So I just put it, the dot, like forgot name, French person.
Thinking nothing of it.
0. Literally 0. And I was at home that night, about to go to bed. It was like 10 or 11. And I thought, should I even send this person a message?
Right.
There's 0 points at even me sending this person a message because they're not going to come back. I send it to her. Lo and behold, she's the first person I ever take out in London.
Yeah, boy.
You just never know the outcome, but you'll never know what the outcome is unless you just fucking close. Just ABC, always be closing. Glengarry Ross, ABC, because you don't know what she's going through. And oftentimes times she may give you a weird response and maybe she's just having a shit day. Like we always joke about, it's your best conversations that go nowhere, and it's your average conversations that you get the girl out on the date.
There's no seeming rhyme or reason to it. I had a couple of conversations that day which were poetic and beautiful, didn't hear back from the girl, and a couple of quick kind of seemingly awkward ones where now, as of filming, I'm in contact with her. We're due to meet up tonight or tomorrow. So the key premise here is ABC. It's that classic scene, is it, from the movie, the sales movie, always be closing. But it's true, it's like the hardest part for guys, let's be frank, is walking up and taking that first action. That's where a lot of guys self-sabotage by just not doing that. They don't even throw their hat in the arena to take part in the game. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. As you're in the conversation, as you spend longer with the girl, she always becomes less attractive because you actually recognize she's human. Men are very visual. We're stifled by the looks at the beginning, but as soon as we're able to deal with the fact she's hot and we spend more time around and we realize she's just a human being, right? So the longer you spend in that conversation, the less power that's going to have over you in terms of her looks. You're in the conversation anyway. Even if there's not much vibe, you might as well just fucking ask for the number because you never know. And me and Les, having done probably more cold approach than you guys, if anyone's watching this, whoever you are, between us, we know from reference experiences and having loads of situations like this illustrated clip here where there isn't much going on, but we get the number, she's replying frantically and she's actually really interested, that you can never really read someone. Her actions is she's standing there off the back of me complimenting her. As far as I'm concerned, that means interest. So that's all there is to that. You almost want to dumb it down and simplify it like the caveman thing of actions speak louder than words. She's there, I don't care, I'm going to assume interest, right? If you look at guys with quite high levels of confidence who historically do pretty well with dating, there's an assumption of attraction there as well. They think they're shit hot, almost the
positive lens that they view the world.
Yeah, and it's a good lens to view it for. You should go out thinking that women find you attractive, and as a default that all women find you attractive. There's no harm in having that lens, even if it's not a true reflection of reality. That's going to get you far further, some tactical narcissism, than it is assuming that all women aren't into you.
That's the thing, right? It doesn't actually matter whether that belief system is right or wrong. First of all, reality is subjective.
Yeah, there's no objective reality.
Exactly. And second of all, the way we should filter whether we use a belief system or a principle in our mind is this going to help me or not? It's literally that simple. And thinking, is this girl interested in me? Yes, she is. That belief system is going to help you. There's a great quote by Theodore Roosevelt from the poem The Man in the Arena, which I love. I love it. It's a long poem.
No, it's not. It's like on one screenshot.
This is the shortened poem of The Man in the Arena, but it's the end line that I really like. It's not the critic who counts, it's not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, nor where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows, in the end, the triumph of high achievements, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. So it means just fucking go for it. Doesn't matter whether you're gonna get the outcome that you want. Play to win. Don't play not to lose. Play to win, because when you play to win, your mind starts finding ways to actually win, right? You're viewing the world through that positive lens of how can I make this happen rather than how can I avoid me not failing, which is a terrible way to view the world. Fail while daring greatly. ABC, always be closing.
Just to add to that point, get off the fucking fence, right? As a man, you can't be the PH7 vanilla. Women very much are pack members of a herd, right? And they can get away with just actually not having particularly massively diverse personalities. But the difference in men, you know, you see the hobo on the streets injecting heroin versus Jeff Bezos with his billions. The difference between the top and bottom of men is so great. You have to start developing yourself and know what you like. Again, the more you can get off the fence and play to win, however that looks like for you, the stronger you're going to have a frame to pull girls into your reality, because that's what women are. They're going to jump into your reality. You have to craft and create your own reality as you see fit. That's a process that goes on for years. A coach we no longer work. I remember him being in a club and him kind of popping out and saying to me, I just had a conversation with someone I hadn't bothered to take a number, and he just kind of slunk out of the shadows and went, ABC, always be closing, kind of slunk back into the shadows, which is fucking hilarious. But this was a guy actually who, by what we understood, you know, was up to his nuts and guts, more so than the average man for sure. So, you know, some good advice from him. He used to go super volume with approaches. I mean, he's a volume guy. He'll go around and his conversations are quite short, but he'll make up for it in the sense that he'll do 50 approaches, you know, in a row, what, 70 approaching a day. On a personal level, am I going to do that? And do I recommend guys do that? Absolutely not. No, you know, maybe it's something like Carnival that I'm about to go to. You can do that, rack up some massive numbers. We're going to go to some high-end parties, absolutely charge around, get numbers. But is that a realistic implementation into your life? No. But did this guy get laid like a rock star? To a degree, yes. And you could argue he's doing crazy amounts of volume. That's the reason for it. But his point is legit, which is always closed. And we never know what's going on in her head. If she gives you the digits, she may reply, she may not. We just don't know. But always close. You play to win. There's no harm in it. And if you're struggling to do that, or if you're not able to close, if you're not able to roam around your day, and in my mind, be able to consistently approach 15 to 20 women a week, not approach 80% of the women you see. So 3 out of 5 hot women, you know, you find attractive, you know, you should approach, or 8 out of 10, you're not able to do that consistently. That means you need feedback on what you're doing. That means you need to come and join us in a place where we can push you, we can film you, we can sit down and break the content with you, and we can mentor you to be able to do this. This is a irrevocably important skill set to learn, gentlemen. You have no option. You're in the dating game, whether you admit it or not. And as much as you try and run...
That's a good point, actually. You don't have a choice.
No.
You might as well play the game.
There's no fucking choice. Part of the reason we do this job is we love understanding human nature, and we love psychology, and we love challenging ourselves to be better people, and we obviously love the stuff that goes alongside it, dating people and traveling and understanding about the world. But part of the reason I do this is because I like to see people develop. The other underlying reason is because I always knew this is something that I wanted to work on, you know, working with guys like you, building a team of very cool, action-taking, quote-unquote, relatively normal human beings, relatively being the key word. There's no way of opting out of this. As a man, you're in the dating game. Whether you choose to not be in it and go the whole MGTOW thing of just, right, I'm not doing dating, that's still a choice you're making. But you're still in the dating arena, right? You've got a number on your head, you've got a sexual market value. It seems harsh. Yeah. It's the reality. We're hairless apes, we're charging around. You're in the dating game. Women look at you, women rate you, women will assess your value. Whether you like it or not, that's what's happening. There is no way out of that. So you might as well get good at playing the game and play it within your own rules and play it from a position of strength, because you have no other option. And the sexual market is the most ruthless market on the face of the earth. It makes... Place, and maybe in future we'll because I'm kind of assessing a host of stories from an app that shall not be named, which is quite an interesting experiment. But we see it in cold approach as well. I mean, that the reality of human nature. Trust us when we say that as men, you really just have to get better. It's far better to play. Yeah, it's a competitive market. It's far better to play than be played.
We always discuss this and we think to ourselves, would it have been better just to stick our heads in the sand and just sort of avoid it? The Matrix metaphor, just get plugged back into the Matrix? Or do you see the world for what it is, learn the fucking game, and then play the game the best of your ability and actually understand reality rather than sticking your head in the ground like an ostrich? And just fucking hoping for the best. Like you say, you're in the game, you might as well play. It's a brutal fucking game. If you don't learn the rules, you're gonna get bent over. So learn the rules of the game.
Well, that's a depressing tint to end on, but if you want to learn the rules of the game from guys that have been in the game for a long time and can help you accelerate your speed of learning the game as quickly as possible, click on the link below, jump on a free call with myself or Les. We'll map out exactly where you're at, where you need to go, and how we can help you get there as painlessly and frustratingly as possible, if that's a word. We'll see you in the next video. It's a pleasure as always. Thank you for supporting our content. And as usual, any questions, comments, please post them in the link below or send us an email. Pleasure as always. See you later. Bootang! It's the final countdown.
It's a long poem.
No, it's not. It's like on one screenshot.
Oh, really? That's like a 2 or 3 minute poem.